Alright guys, so let's finish the rest of this little booklet right here, and I think I'm actually going to add another one to it. So example 2 is a little strange, only because this doesn't look quite like intercept form. So what happened was the number that was in parentheses with x being subtracted was like a number I don't need to put somewhere, like if it is being subtracted. And I'm pretty sure that that number would have to be 0, because x minus 0 would just be x, and then I don't necessarily need to put that there, so I don't really need the parentheses anymore. Okay, so once we kind of understand that, like I see an x sitting by itself right here, that just means one of my x-intercepts is 0. This doesn't change anything else. So I take the 0 out, I take the 4 out because we make it opposite. So my x-intercepts are at 0 and 4, so I can go plot those at 0, 0, and 4, 0. And then like we talked about before, we can count to find our vertex, or our axis symmetry rather, which our vertex is on, and then get that going. So our axis of symmetry is at 2. But like also we can use our little formula where we do 4 plus 0 over 2, which is 2. Which is also the x value of my vertex. And then to get the y value, we need to plug it in. So we'll have 2 times 2, parenthesis 2 minus 4. And so all that is going to be 2 times 2 times negative 2. And so we're going to get negative 8 overall. So I go down here and I plot my 2 comma negative 8. And again, noting that those parenthesis numbers should be opposites, to know that I'm on the right track. I can tell that my parabola is going to have to open up, because it's got to get up there to those numbers, plus I have a positive a value. My slope is 2, so from here I can go up 2 over 1, flip it over, put it on the other side. And then, if I want another point, I can plug in 0, but I think I already have it, and so we're just going to sketch out our parabola, and our y-intercept is also at 0, 0. Okay, so example 3 has us going backwards. So if I'm looking at the parabola, hopefully you can write the equation as well. So we find our x-intercepts. One is at 1, the other is at 4. And so when I put them in, we're going to have y equals a parenthesis x minus 1, x minus 4. And then the reason I need another x and y value is because they're not showing me where the vertex is, so I can't just count my rise, run, slope sort of deal. But I do have a point, 2 comma negative 6, where I can put in 2 for x and negative 6 for y and solve for a. So I'll have negative 6 equals a times 2 minus 1 times 2 minus 4. Now these numbers won't be opposites of each other, because we're not finding the vertex. So negative 6, a times 1 times negative 2. And so all of that changes into negative 6 equals negative 2a. And then I feel like I would divide and get that a is 3. Then I would just rewrite my equation. So y equals 3 parentheses x minus 1, x minus 4. Okay, and then what I think I want to do for the next one is I'm just going to give you the answer to see if you can figure out how to get there. So we should have y equals, okay, so we would end up with y equals negative 1/3 x parenthesis x plus 3. Okay, then I feel like one last equation, actually the one we covered up on the back, said to change to standard form. And so when we change to standard form, like we talked about before, we essentially just do order of operations. So for example, if I have y equals 2 parenthesis x minus 3 parenthesis x plus 1, I can't do what's in parentheses, but I can multiply parentheses by each other by using FOIL, or a Punnett square, or good old-fashioned multiply, but either way I have to distribute x to x for x squared, and then x to the 1 for positive 1x, then the negative 3 to x, so negative 3x, and then last, negative 3 times 1, which is negative 3. Now, all of that is still got the 2 out front. Then I feel like I would combine some like terms in there. And so I'd have x squared minus 2x minus 3. And then finally, I would distribute the 2. And so I would say that my answer is 2x squared minus 4x minus 6. So hopefully that's helpful to you on your homework. Good luck.